Top Esports moving over to our blue side this time. Alistair banned, Lucian banned away from Xiaohu as well.
And that Hecarim ban. So we kind of talked about how if Top Esports were moving towards the blue side, it would probably be a priority pick on something like that Hecarim or the Udyr, a pick for Karsa. We'll see if they pinch the Udyr here and kind of remove two of those jungle positions. But I still expect it to be a Karsa pick that could save perhaps a Volibear later on. And okay, yeah, it is the Udyr, so they could grab maybe even a Kai'Sa here if they really want to take that one away from Gala and then put Karsa on the Volibear. Oh no!
Oh yeah, Zoe is available as well. That was banned in game number 1. I'd be surprised if they first pick Zoe. That's not a first pick that we've seen in a long old while, but also the Tahm Kench. I was going to mention this. I talked about it in game number 1, right? Right after the game. If you put Zhuo on something like the Tahm Kench, the Thresh, put a hyperscaling AD carry, that's definitely a way to success.
Yeah, it's basically Thresh 2.0 that you so beautifully described right there. The Thresh is banned, you can get the Kench, it unlocks something like the Aphelios, the Tristana if you want to go that route again. It does mean that Wei is going to have his pick of the litter of the junglers left available, or if they want to snap grab the Kai'Sa here. LPL and early Renekton picks, a more iconic duo.
Yeah, they do love it. They really do. Remember, this is a flex. Could be Xiaohu, could be Cryon, but I would anticipate with this team, with RNG,
probably Xiaohu.
It's very likely to go to Xiaohu. And you'd anticipate probably a jungle lock in here, but actually, yeah, Nocturne also made it through the bans. So that could be jungle, that could be mid, that could be top. We don't really know where these picks are going to go.
Flex on flex on flex.
Also, worth mentioning, Lilia is available right now. Wei may be the best Lilia in the league. Definitely is most played across the split. Incredible Lilia player. So I would like to see the Nocturne in the mid lane and Lilia come through for Wei.
And Lilia makes perfect sense here because she's an AP jungler now smack dab in between two AD laners in Nocturne and Renekton. So I'm with you. I think the Lilia is incoming. That does mean that bot lane will get pinched. Oh, this is the white flag being raised. Jackie Love and Chlo are like, give me Tahm Kench, Senna. I'm out. Like,
I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I did exactly call that this was the draft that Top Esports would go to. I think I've watched too much of this team. I've drunk too much of the Kool-Aid. They just surrender the bot side, play towards 369. I love it. This is exactly what they need to do.
Okay, but this is interesting now. So in response, Gala's like, I have to get my Kai'Sa now, otherwise it's going to be pinched. That does mean that the Lilia can be taken away, especially now that you have Karsa on Olaf. So I would expect that Top Esports are going to start pinching the jungle pool right now, as well as potentially taking things away like that Nautilus, like that Rel, or different support champions that give Gala and Ming a strong setup lane.
It's kind of interesting. It feels like Top Esports have quite a few things that they need to ban. I love the Quinn ban. That's a lot of respect for 369 right there. It also says, yes, definitely we're taking this Renekton towards the top side here. But 369 will still have picks available. You mentioned the Rel ban. It is going to be taken away by top.
I wonder if they'll also ban the Jax then and just try to deny any sort of hyperscaling that 369 would have on a side lane. You still have things like the Jace, the Camille, and the Jax that he can go for, as well as if he wants to play weak side Sion, but with Senna Kench, you would imagine that he'd be playing more of kind of a hard carry champion.
Yeah, I will say with the Camille, I don't know whether he'll play that. Nuguri drew a very famous picture of a 0-3 Camille getting whacked against a Renekton, so I don't know if the new items changed that matchup at all, but Rakan going to be banned away. So kind of the two supports with the very same identity that Ming can just brute force those big engages.
And it's also, again, denying exactly that, the hard engages. Something that both these compositions are missing is relative hard engage, which is why I really was just about to talk about the Leona. The Leona is actually really necessary.
So Leona locked in here, and we'll see what Top Esports answer with. They need some solo laners to come on through here. I mean, 369 could go...
Twisted Fate.
You could go Sion, right? There's an argument to be made for just go Sion and just play towards late game. You've got a Senna, scaling across the board, or an Akali. An Akali could come through too. It looks like Knight is going to bring that one to the table. I'm excited, Frost. Let's go.
He just insta-locked it in. He was like, okay. I was thinking that he was going to play it safe. He would go for the Ori. No, just insta-lock that Akali. You have a range matchup now into Renekton Nara. I think we've all seen this one a million times, but my eyes are obviously going to be on this Akali and what Knight is going to be able to get done. I don't know so much about Sylas. I guess Sylas's matchup into Akali can be okay, because when she goes in on him, he can get a lot of the health back.
I'm not going to pretend
like
that I know
better.
the Silas Akali matchup. Yeah, actually, you can just swap the Renekton to the mid lane. And Gnar as well might not have as good of a matchup against Silas as he does against Renekton. So, yeah, a bit of swapping and swapping could come through. But don't be baited too hard, guys, because it's very possible that we get in the game and these players actually swap on the map as well. So there could be some serious lane swap shenanigans in this one. I'm excited for the Knight Akali, though, especially after what he did to Cryan in game number 1. You expect this Akali to do pretty good.
And he also has a lot of really great targets. You know, there's not a very traditional front line from RNG's composition. They went for Nocturne jungle as opposed to a traditional tanky jungler. You know, it's a bruiser top side, or excuse me, bruiser mid, bruiser top side. So if this Akali does get rolling, we always talk about it. It's usually that initial first item power spike that allows her to have assassination onto a side lane. Knight can take over a game, but it's now a question of, will the Knight to the golden left hand return, or are we going to get more of the 2021 Knight where, frankly, he's been pretty underwhelming to what our expectations are of this player?
That is the big question. That's what I was about to bring up as well. Do we get the World Swarm? Do we get the Knight that can single carry games? Do we get the MSC Knight where he was dominating the LCK and showing up massively on an international stage? He's locked in the Akali. He blind picked that for the mid lane. Super confident pickup. Can he bring that confidence to the Rift and hard carry game number 2? That'll be the question as we head onto the Rift. And RNG, with the momentum here, they locked themselves in a very consistent draft, a very confident draft with the Renekton in the mid lane. But do Top Esports have the answer with the center on the bot side? They've changed styles. Will it be enough?
Coming into the game and checking across keystones, as I'm sure the crowd's going wild right now. Can't actually tell, but I have no game sounds. I'm just listening to like some soft, smooth jazz. Nothing quite out of the ordinary. Fleet footwork being picked up by Xiaohu, which kind of tells me that he's probably going to stay in the Gnar matchup and get some health back to work with being in a range versus melee matchup, as well as kind of the inbuilt sustain that's going to be on Silas's kit. If you guys aren't big Akali players, it's old, but the presence of mind changes were kind of like the big thing that swung Akali, at least in the LEC pros' mind, from unplayable to back into OP range. But the old cloth 4-pot start, I haven't seen that in a long time.
There was a website long ago called Cloth 5, which was like the start
Graves
for
ADC
top
start.
laners. Yeah. And you could go into Wriggle's Lantern off the back of a Cloth 5 start. Cloth 4, not quite the same, but you know, it's kind of a nice reference to the olden days of Cloth 5 as a start.
Yeah, and actually giving a lot of respect. I know, right? Everyone else in the league's like, no, we don't like that. Giving a lot of respect to this Renekton matchup, as Cryan has apparently just had enough of it. So, taking stock of where the junglers are starting, it was leashless starts from both junglers. Karsa, of course, on the top side, starting the blue, which is really helpful for Olaf to keep his mana topped up. It makes him a much faster jungler, and obviously if he's lower health, it means he moves that much faster through the jungle just because of how Olaf's kit works. Whereas Wei, starting on bot side, pathing top, it should just be full clears for both sides. Reminder that if Wei doesn't get any other experience from things like kills or wards or shenanigans, that he'll be level 6 at 2.5 clears. And that's kind of the secret with the Nocturne, is it's, can you get through 2.5 clears without everything breaking on your map?
That would be the question. That would be the question for Karsa, actually, as well. Can he start to accelerate this game before that point? Because Olaf definitely doesn't need to wait until level 6 to start making things happen. But also, right now, in the bottom lane, massive priority in favor of Jackie and Chor. Do you expect that to continue? Like, can Karsa just play through that bottom side and start to stack dragons?
I mean, yeah, as Olaf, you can definitely start clearing dragons at level 4, and it's kind of like full clear Olaf, walk to bot side, and then you can use Blast Cone over the wall as long as you have a control ward and take that one pretty safely. Now, the thing about Nocturne is that while we do talk about him as a jungler that likes to get to the level 6 and open up that ultimate, if he finds you and he's able to connect A, the Q, and then B, the fear, Nocturne is actually an incredible duelist, and wins most jungle matchups. And we're about to see how much damage he can do if he can get the flash off of 369.
Well, there's the flash followed by the fear here, but the hop is beautiful. The minion wave arrives at just the perfect moment, and 369 gets away with it.
I'm also going to say that was a bit ambitious from Wei to force the flash. You can obviously check what the minion wave is going to be doing because it's mirrored, so you can look at your own minion wave if you're ever confused where the enemy's minion wave is going to be. And that gives so much information for Karsa to come in and, again, disrupt this this Nocturne's pathing. So we need to keep our eyes on Wei to make sure that he makes the right decision, and he is. Taking both Crab. Oh, no, he's resetting. He's just going to get denied his jungle and denied his 6 clear.
He's only going to be on 1.5 clears because guess what? Karsa is going to take the Grump away. I thought he was going to move to the Wolves as well, but it looks like he's just going to recall on this one and go back to clearing himself. He can move back up to the top side where the Grump has already respawned and path down towards that Drake that we were talking about before as well. So now let's take a moment and talk about what RNG are looking to do, because they're the ones in the lead right now, 1-0 in this series. You've got the Nocturne that once we hit level 6, it's going to work. But with the Silas and the Renekton in the solo lanes, this composition's identity seems a little funky. How are they meant to play this one out? I'm going to hold that thought, actually. As JackeyLove getting chased down here. Wei's here, but has no flash, remember. They have no real way to close the gap. Unless top esports just walk at them. TP's come in from both sides, but JackeyLove has just walked into the loving arms of the enemy right here. RNG take an easy fight. JackeyLove, what are you doing, mate?
I'm honestly mad that happened. I'm honestly upset. I'm very salty. What in the world? How does that happen? You're Sinna Tom Kench, and you lose to a level 4 Nocturne?
That has no flash.
So the Gobble comes out early. Ming does a really good job holding the Q to hit JackeyLove when he's
just leave.
Immediately ejected from the other side. And then they double down on the TPs, not keeping track of the E cooldown on Leona, which is something like 9 seconds. It's really short. And now, suddenly, Nocturne has a kill and an assist. It doesn't matter anything that was taken from his jungle, because now he's gotten both top wave and bot wave, as well as assistance to kills. Like, Karsa, you can... Oh, okay, he got level 6. That was really luck.
Here we go. Karsa has to take things into his own hands. He's like, you know what? If JackeyLove's going to run it, then I'm going to run it into Wei.
Okay, Karsa, I apologize. You had it on the timer. You're like, I'm about to get level 6 and just destroy this kid.
I'm about to end this man's whole jungle pathing. Karsa just annihilates Wei. And you know what? We've got a bit of a jungle dip here. Bit of a forest gap, bit of a woodland gulf, if you will. Vegetation disparity, bit of a foliage dissonance.
Listen, it's 54 to 33.
It's Karsa, bit of a diffy in the jiffy, I think.
Karsa's doing his best, but his bot lane's leaving me scratching my head a little bit. That said, it's only been one. JackeyLove and Joe have time to clean it up, to get it back on track, but this Nocturne is going to be level 6 relatively soon, and here we go, round 4.
No. The Shroud comes out from JackeyLove. I don't know if it's going to be enough. This time he's able to flash away, though. No flash still from Wei, so JackeyLove can survive. Juo goes back into the fray, but flashes out himself.
Here comes Knight.
Knight is here to arrive. We want the Akali to be the carry for top esports. This is a perfect opportunity for him to get kills, but with the TP coming in, maybe this all goes wrong. Ming has gone a little bit deep on this one as Knight commits to the play, goes straight onto Wei in the backline, and he can look for Ming as well. Knight with the double, but it's Xiaohu who also has the perfect execution. It's complete chaos, but RNG come out on top.
It is the triple down from top esports there to pull Knight in, and just the raw brute force mechanics to pick up 2 kills on this Akali is going to be massive for them. There is finally like a little spark of light, because also Xiaohu's going to lose all of these minions, and 369 is going to potentially get a plate, at least pick up 2 waves of gold, is going to feel a lot better. But, you know, if this went wrong, I was ready to just throw in the towel. I was like, it's a disaster. Yeah. It is clearly a trap. Do not go bot lane. But the triple down here as Knight also shows up. The TP comes in. Really good use of the Shroud here for Knight to give him enough time to get around. Like you said, he goes in on Wei and then uses the flash and finds Ming in a little enclave. Concave? I don't know.
I think concave is the right one on that one.
Concave.
Yeah. As you rightly say, though, Knight beautifully playing that one. Wei actually with a really nice spell shield to spell shield the perfect execution. The timing on that is real hard to pull off, but it wasn't enough. But still, nice, cute little mechanic. And the same from Xiao, who's stealing that perfect execution to get the kill on JackeyLove at the end of the fray. So, All things considered, RNG up in kills right now, but Top Esports ahead in gold. This is what we always talk about with Top Esports. When it comes to the laning phase, they are the team that gets ahead every single time.
But what does it amount to? So, Karsa,
Rift Herald is the answer.
Don't do it. He's going to do it anyway. He's assuming, so Karsa's making an educated guess that because the enemy blue buff is up, that Wei is already pathing bot side. And so now that he can see people moving up through river, no, Karsa, don't ping assist me. Walk away from it.
He's committing. I respect it. Karsa is a man of his word. He sees the Herald, he goes for the Herald. Can he get the smite down? I'm not even sure who got it. I think it was Karsa who's finally died. Wei might answer though. 369 looking to answer that kill. Jakilov is stuck in the fray, but gobbled up, kicked towards the rest of his team. He's out with his life, but Gala dives into the backline. Dawning Shadow is there. Ming is low. Jakilov chased down here. Top Esports still 3 strong. Perfect execution into the fray. Knight in the middle of everyone. Cryan doesn't have the damage to turn this one around. Nod into the wall and taken down by the Ninja. It's a quadra kill for 369 as he chases for more. How does the Nod get the quadra kill?
Yeehaw! The circus came to town, Munch. Buckle up because we have a straight fiesta. Oh boy. Okay. There was no reason to double down on that Rift Herald, but, you know, whatever. Rewarded for it because your Gnar just got a quadra kill, and I believe Knight, did he pick up a kill? No, he just picked up multiple assist points. I think Knight's like, imagine if I had picked up that quadra kill.
Every single kill here. I think Karsa actually got the Herald before going down there as well.
But what? At what cost? Like, this is a point where Top Esports like, yeah, it's fine. We won the skirmish. But, like, should you have? My favorite thing is Gala goes into the backline and then walks directly into the Senna ultimate, even though he could have stood to the side and not eaten the Senna ultimate and loses like 25% of his HP. And here we go again.
It's never stopping in this game. Karsa just runs it, but gets a nice easy kill on that one. Jakilov can now just run at the tower, and guess what? They got the Herald. It all worked out for Top Esports, so they're going to snowball this lead in the bottom side. But in fact, Karsa, I think, just moves over to the Drake instead.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a mid-Herald, I would imagine, because that gold and those plates are worth a lot more for Akali. That said, the mid lane is, in my opinion, worth a lot less than it used to be in terms of map control. Maybe not so much in this game because it's Akali versus Renekton, but in a meta that's had so many Azirs and Corkis, it's oftentimes better to use the Herald out into the side lane, which is what it looks like Karsa's actually going to do, because it makes it that much easier to get deep into the enemy jungle and then use the pressure of a potential dive on those champions to get them to back up from the mid lane, whereas it used to be that everyone and their mother would just drop Herald into mid lane because taking mid tower meant so much more for control over into entrances of river.
Yeah, it definitely feels like, especially with the fact that Karsa could just brute force this Drake as well, you just got Jakilov so much time to just hit this tower so they could take away all of the easy plays, and then Karsa just skips on back, drops the Herald, sets his recall off. He's quite happy to just get a bit of bonus gold there. So Jakilov gets a huge gold injection right there. Already finished the Kraken Slayer. Jakilov is massive 12 minutes into this game.
Now, one of the things with this composition is because they're not running like a traditional attack speed ADC, not that Senna can't move very quickly, but she doesn't have the same traditional wave clear as something like a Jinx, a Kai'Sa, a Tristana, is how they're going to compete for the mid-wave prio when we do eventually drop those towers. And this is the other thing that I like. If Senna and Tahm Kench are going to play vacuum duty or Hoover duty in the mid lane, and now you're on an extended lane, as long as Knight controls this minion wave, he can deny a lot of gold or set up a lot of kill pressure for himself on whoever from RNG wants to come try to deal with this Akali on a side lane.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to really punish, and as you mentioned before as well, the Renekton can do well into the Akali. The thing is though, and this feels like a very fanciful caveat on this. This is Knight's Akali. Knight is a mechanical genius. I'm really excited to see what he can do in those kind of situations, because I feel like Akali is the pick that if you're in the kind of 1v2s, 1v3s, it's one of those picks that you really, really can just show off so much individual skill, and Knight is the player to do that.
I mean, we've already seen it, so you're absolutely right, Munch. You know, this has been Top Esports running face first into skirmishes and just pressing their buttons better. As at this point in the game, it's literally going to be looking for snaps. Snaps on mid lane, either through this Leona or through the Paranoia. You can see Wei is that's cute. You can see Wei is kind of pathing in between his top and his mid lane as Ming's like, I got him. Oh shit, he got me. Okay, here we go.
Ming all-ins and just gets one shot, but the heal actually comes through and he survives. Jackie Love was the one to go down in the end. Xiao who arrives as well. Karsa just has to flee from this one. It's 4 versus 3 as Knight re-enters the fight here. It's just going to be RNG managing to trade, but it's 1-for-1 ultimately.
And ultimately, I'm going to say that that's actually really good for top esports, not just because our fantastic observer is showcasing everything that 369 got here while retaining his teleport, but the fact is that RNG's composition is super dependent on these big cooldowns, using things like the paranoia, the fact that Xiao, who just used his teleport, that all they really got was the kill on Jackie Love and then the flash from Karsa. It's not like they were able to turn that around into a dragon or a tower or any pressure. So across map, they actually lost more there. And Jackie Love is on a low econ champion like Senna. Senna doesn't need a ton of gold to be able to do her job like a Tristana does. So I think this is actually a really good position for top esports going to 130 for this dragon. Like 369 just needs to push this top wave like an absolute banana and then start killing Xiao or rotating. He's gonna kill him. No
bananas here because iBoy's not in the game, but 369 is making a banana out of Xiao, who here can jump on forward. He doesn't even need to. Just slams the Gnar down. And guess what? Knight is here to back him up. So Cryan's arrived, but he suddenly realized that he's outnumbered because Jackie Love and Drove arrived on the scene as well. Out of nowhere, the whole squad's turned up.
What did you say about my brother? It's basically like, it's a bar fight. What did you say about my friend? And then suddenly they all roll out of the woodwork. You're like, guys, come on. The dragon is spawning in 50 seconds.
Up in the Corsair. They've got the spoiler on the back. They've got the tunes pumping out the window. The whole squad's here. Donny soldiers.
Get in, loser. We're going to the dragon pit. I just want a Mean Girls Tom Kench skin. Just Regina George.
I don't want to imagine that. That sounds horrific, honestly. But here we go, 369. Over the wall. He doesn't even get feared. He just walks away from it. No, not even a single drop of sweat on his brow.
369 is breaking their ankles right now. And they're going to get the Herald. They can drop that mid lane. They can waddle over to the Dragon. Top esports looking fantastic in this lane phase into early mid game. And is this enough, Munch? Is this gold lead enough of the skirmishes that when it comes to using their 5-man brain power that they can get over and actually close out this game?
See, I'm going to answer your rhetorical question here and say yes. It's 369 and Xiao who just duel it again. Cryan gets obliterated. Knight does not care about your dignity, Cryan. He is going to body you every single game of this series.
And this is something that I really wanted to talk about, is the 1-3-1 nature of their composition with Senna and using the Senna ultimate to quickly swing out into the side and then basically just mean like, I have Knight and 369 who are on great 1v1 champions, but then I also have an Abyssal Voyage and I also have a Senna ultimate to turn the tides. And then you just have Karsa basically as a swing in between one of his solo laners and his bot lane in the mid position. And you can't lose a 5v5 if you never 5v5.
It's true. It's ingenious. We can take another look at this. It's just... I mean, there's a pretty significant goal gap between these players at this point, so it feels a little overkill to go for the replay here, honestly. But Karsa getting chased down. Did get the Drake for himself. I think he will answer with his own life, but, got the Drake worth.
That was the anger. That was the desperation ultimate. It was like a, not today.
Yeah, it's a little unlucky. At least Wei gets the answer for himself. And now 369 is
Goodbye,
like,
Gala.
We're a man down. Time to force a fight. Knight going in onto Gala, who is just obliterated. Jackie Love getting that kill. Ming is caught out as well. This is feeling real dicey for RNG. This is a team that I was just calling intelligent. I was calling calculator. I was saying they understand how top esports are meant to play the game. Not in game 2, they don't.
No, this is a see hero, kill hero type of game. Top esports have grabbed RNG and they have dragged them down to their level. They will not allow them to 5v5. They will not allow them any chance to breathe. Reminder again that RNG's comp is really dependent on key cooldowns. They have really big windows before they can get ready and prepare for fights, whereas top esports' composition isn't really like that. They can go through cooldowns multiple times. Their ultimates aren't the key factor for a lot of these champions, especially in these matchups. They can just play those side lanes really safely. So I like the fact that top esports with this comp can just keep keep the pedal to the metal. They can keep pressure on all 3 lanes and are forcing RNG to make very snap-second decisions, and RNG are just making the wrong decisions, and then that leaves someone else exposed, and then 1 kill turns into 2 kills, turns into 3 kills, turns into 13 to 8, and a pretty massive gold lead, closing in on 10K at this point for top esports. This is like 1 team fight away.
Oh,
okay.
Hang on, 369 is just getting dived because he's basically under the enemy tier 2 at this point. Finally, a shutdown goes into the pocket of Xiaohu. It's a good pickup for RNG. Top esports don't have an answer either. They'll just grab a Gromp and have to move away from this one.
Guys, what are you doing? I just complimented you. And you're on wolf camp when you give away 1,000 gold to a Silas. He's now got the OP item. Oh no, they're gonna double down.
They're gonna say worth it. They're gonna commit to the 4v5 right here. But Ming misses the Zenith Blade. It's a disaster. And he answers with his life. Knight goes into the backline, is crying. Blasted by the Dawning Shadow. Xiaohu's on the flank, but you can't 1v4. You're not Knight. You're not on the Akali. Doesn't work out. And top esports, they just call the bluff. They're like, you know what? We're stronger than you. Bring it on.
Was it calling the bluff or was it massive mechanical mistakes? I think it was like a kind of a mixture of both. You know, missing that key ultimate, definitely not going to help there, but top esports, like you said, get out unscathed and continue to snowball here. But that could have been the brake pump on top esports running away with this game. At this point, I think top esports are just going to slap RNG with their gold or with their wallets. I don't think you can overcome this type of gold difference in these types of compositions.
Yeah, it does. I mean, look, here's the thing with that play. That is 101 top esports, right? What's the big weakness that we saw in this series, in their previous Round 4 series?
Greed.
It was that they overextended when they had a massive lead. And sure, they get away with it this time, but that was still a massive overextension from 369. And you can see, he has not learned from that, because he is currently trying to 1v4 to get the kill onto Cryan. 369 does not care about the rules of League of Legends. He plays how he wants to play.
It is a live fast, die young style of team, but just flexing on RNG right now. This Nocturne 4-3-4 has not had the impact that they wanted to, and it's simply because RNG's lanes just really collapsed. And it started with that early skirmish where Knight was able to pick up kills, and then it finalized over that Rift Herald skirmish where Gnar got massive. That quadra kill has made 369 into an absolute god on top of his comfort with that champion in this matchup. Like you said, he was 1v3 just a minute ago. He was styling on Xiaohu into the top lane. He is pretty godly at this moment and also has TP into Mega Gnar, so RNG need to be careful.
Yeah, this could be the moment where the game becomes unwinnable for RNG if they lose a fight. Grouped up as a 5-stack for top esports as Wade goes into the team here, but Gala doesn't stand a chance. There's nothing you can do against this combo. And the fight is already over. Jaculov just picking up the final kills. In fact, it's Dwo to get a couple there. It's 369 finishes off the last player. And honestly, that was a brutal fight. Top esports just smack RNG.
And it's like you said, you know, there's nothing that Gala can do to stop a Ragnarok Olaf and an Akali from just assassinating him in the backline. You put that on top of the range and reach that Senna has to just the line damage, the Q through everyone. Jaculov is chunking them out right now, went for the Kraken Ghostblade build. So looking for that not lethality, but that attack speed oriented Senna. And it's nice to see Jaculov. I know he's pretty well known for Tristana. I always thought that he was probably one of the best Senna players in the world. Watching him play Senna at Worlds was just beautiful. It was like a masterclass, and he looks much more comfortable on this champion and how he's setting up his team and how the team fights are going.
Let's take another look at what went down. You just see Gala just getting run down. And then, because of the gold lead as well, Costa and Knight are like, yeah, 2v3, no worries, easy.
I mean, it was like the difference of they're trying to assassinate Jaculov and Joe just eats him. And it's like 3 people just standing around Tom Ken's just like, stop it, let him out. And meanwhile, Gala's like diving under cars and just trying to like juke away. He's got like Kali like flipping after him and Olaf just smacking him in the head. He's like, I wish I had a Tom Kench right now, and all I have is this Leona, and that's not doing anything for me.
Let's just take a second and appreciate the Tom Kench here, because it's often... we don't have time for a second. Knight's in trouble here. Flashed on, but the perfect execution to get out. Way's trying to chase this kill. He's going to tank the tower. Dawning Shadow comes out for the shield, though. Way's in trouble, but the 5-point strike misses on that one. Zhonya's has come through in the meantime. Now who is looking? No, Carson turns it around. What is Olaf right now? That is disgusting. And now onto Ming as well. Ming will surely fall as Zhuo flashes for the kill, but the supports will combat somehow. Top Esports come out on top. 3-0-13 for Zhuo. He's looking for a Tom Kench MVP. Has that sentence ever been said?
He's looking for the Tom Kench ban right now. Now, while all of this was happening, Knight was also able to pick up the kill on Cryan before finally falling down. And speaking of Cryan, I will remember you.
Yeah, RNG gonna be crying after this one, because this is I don't even have words for the kind of domination we're seeing here. Top Esports with more than a kill a minute on their side as they break down the mid lane in here.
Oh, they're trying to double up on that. Here comes Paranoia.
Yeah, gobbled up once again, spit him over the wall, so Jackie Love's going to be completely safe. This is 3 versus 4, and Top Esports don't give a monkeys. Cryan will fall next, 369 to get that kill as Gala is taken down, way killed underneath his tower. There's just nothing you can do. This is an FF at 20.
I think this was an FF as soon as Gnar got the quadra kill. So what looked like a pretty dominant series from RNG, at least in game number 1, has turned into an absolute fiesta, but the party kings are here to party, and it is a Top Esports for game number 2.
Yeah, as soon as you get into a fiesta, Top Esports are going to challenge you to a dance-off, and now they're going to be dancing all over the fountain as well. Ming goes in and is immediately slammed against the wall. Jackie Love is punished, loses his KDA, but it doesn't matter. 30-13 is the final score as Top Esports, the defending LPL champions, even up the series against RNG.
They're the epitome of the LPL. Like, they are the essence of the LPL, where you can just have an absolute shellacking of a game where basically every lane pulls it out, where you just start styling on your opponent, and then in game number 1 you just look so lost. But the thing is that Top Esports were still making really questionable macro calls, but they were able to just outplay their way out of it, and like respect to it. But also I'm like, oh no, it can go so wrong so quickly.
And it almost did. It almost did as well. But the thing is, like, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about the mojo with Top Esports. Like, that play in the bottom lane from Knight. We talked about it. The big 4v4 that happened in the bot lane with the TPs coming through. That was the moment where RNG could throw this composition off from Top Esports and start to build a lead for themselves. But Knight pulls out the individual outplay on the Akali, and that's the mojo that I'm talking about. That's that extra secret sauce that Top Esports has, and that's one of the reasons that I consistently I can never bet against this team. There's always that factor.
They remind me a lot of G2 in playing this style of like constantly, we would say, moving the chains. G2 never like to have gold sitting in their inventory. They like to constantly take skirmishes, get 1v1 skill checks, and then spin the gold, so they always have a slight advantage because it's about that confidence in you as an individual player to outplay your opponent. And then even if you're given a slight lead of 150 gold, 300 gold, whatever it is, that it doubles down on how quickly you can continue to skill check and constantly making your opponents choose. So it's phenomenal to watch, and it's really fun to see, especially when it all comes together. It's still not a lot of team coordination in play. The individual members were playing really well together, like Jackie Love and Joe. I'm assuming one of them gets the MVP. Maybe it goes tonight, but I'm kind of on your side, where I think Joe and Jackie Love should basically together be up for MVP. Very different performance. They were playing phenomenally together. Knight was doing his thing, Karsa was doing his thing, and 369 was doing his thing. But again, it's not Top Esports doing their thing. And that's now going to be the story of this series. Do RNG get broken down where they get stuck in all of these different skirmishes and just get beaten down by the lane dominance and the mechanical dominance of top? Or do RNG kind of go back to the drawing board, draft a more traditional 5v5 composition, and just try to outlast Top Esports, give them the gold lead, but let Top Esports beat themselves when it comes to playing over things like Dragon Soul or Baron?
Yeah, that'll be the question on who can build the momentum in the early game, because that feels like the story of this one so far. Also, random side note, Blind Renekton on red side, 0% win rate in this series so far. Maybe a strategy that we should start to move away from. It's a conversation that's been going on for more than a year now. Maybe it's time to adapt, guys. Maybe it's time to move on.
It offers so much that like we can flex it. It sets up for our jungler, but yeah, I'm in agreement.
All right, we're going to a quick break. We're going to be back with game number 3. This is my hand. There is a series on it. We're going to game 3 right after this.
I like talking to you, Dream. Speak!
It's been a bad start to RNG's playoff run, having finished as the #1 seed in the regular season. The lower bracket is not where this team wanted to be, but despite rough beginnings, RNG will not let this be the story of their playoffs. I don't know if this is one they can fight on. Here we go. Knockup comes out from 369. They find themselves a pick onto Ming. The man of the hour, as you called him. Xiao, who falls as well. Draw with a locket to keep himself safe. Gala jumps in, but maybe too deep on this one. Wade trying to follow up as well. Top Esports health bars are dropping. Knight still surviving. Can't find Gala though. Misses the Q on the backline, and Gala wins the 1v1. 369, the last man on the scene. And RNG turn this on its head. Gala and Cryan and Way surviving. Triple for Gala. Down with the recency. The defending champions fall. The legacy of RNG continues. The reigning LPL champions, Top Esports, are against the ropes as they struggle to defend their title. The previous loss must be cast aside as they look to come back stronger than ever.
And Knight can do that. He's stolen the Magnet Storm from On. And look at where Karsa is, Lyric. He's coming in for the flank, right onto Angel. Bin on the other side, dealing with Knight. Karsa gets out, but the Encore, so beautiful from Angel. And Bin now being a busy boy onto 369. The Magnet Storm from Knight, though, hasn't changed the play. Yes, it has. He's gotten them under his wing while Bin goes down. Chucky Love cleans that one up. And Top Esports execute the fight just like that.
If RNG are to make a run in the lower bracket, they need Xiaohu to return to the top lane domination that we saw all split long. Now, when they need him the most.
That's a 1 for none, but there's the culling. Is it enough? Is the angle quite there? The Dominus is not enough to keep you alive, and Xiaohu is really starting to feel good in this lane.
Ming, another flash again. Shockwave whiffed though by Knight. In the meantime, Top Esports diving under this tower. RNG health bars are low, but they're behind the tower. They're safe. Calling in from Xiaohu, and Chuo is too deep and alone. Finally goes down. Xiaohu with the Gale Force. That was clean from the top laner of RNG. And guess what's on the cards? It's the big purple word. Knight has been the core of everything for Top Esports. And if he can get back to his 2020 form, Top has all the firepower they need to take back their throne.
To take down the cow, the butcher brings the cow to the slaughterhouse, but Shanks is roaming down. Now, do they want to try and make another play? There is a TP available for Camille, so this could be a 5v3 if they show choose. Karsa just about gets out, and a great shockwave brings everybody back into the dying arms of Top Esports. Top Esports pick up 2 from that.
This wasn't the match anyone expected to see in the losers bracket, and now both teams find themselves fighting to survive. The 2020 LPL champions take on one of the league's most legendary organizations to keep the playoffs dream alive. TES versus RNG, the fight for redemption.
Mr. DJ, play me. Have a few drinks, let's get wavy. I'll be out on a good night, sipping Grey Goose from my left hand, things get crazy. Mr. DJ, play me. Have a few drinks, let's get wavy. I'll be out on a good night, sipping Grey Goose from my left hand, things get crazy. Let's get wavy. Let's get wavy. Let's get wavy. Till things get crazy. Let's get wavy. Let's get wavy. Let's get wavy. Till things get crazy.